The civil services, working as a police officer, firefighter, some would say these are among the most dangerous jobs America has to offer. But what about ride sharing? Check this out.
Hearing from a Linwood firefighter who says that he was robbed and carjacked while working as a rideshare driver while he was off duty. This happened around 1 this morning near 122nd in Michigan. That's in Chicago's West Pullman neighborhood. Kevin Cole says that he picked up two people and their dog in Rogers Park. And when they arrived at 121st in Michigan, the dog made a mess in the back seat. And so as he got out to clean it, Cole says the man pointed a gun to his face and demanded his phone, his wallet, and the keys to his car. He says they all sped off, leaving him stranded in the cold.
I felt like my life was endangered. I felt like my life literally flashed in my eyes. And I literally was just shocked, that it could just happen to anybody, especially us rideshare drivers.
An Uber spokesperson tells us the company is working to get in touch with Coles to check in and offer support.
Chicago, the Windy City, should surprise no one if you watch the news regularly that a carjacking happened in Chicago. Damn, I hate doing videos from that city. Make no mistake about it, that is indeed where yours truly grew up. In fact, where this event took place, within walking distance of where I spent the first 14 years of my life. Literally, I grew up very close to where this happened. I hate doing videos on Chicago, but nevertheless, there's a hell of a lot of red flags in this video I want to discuss with you folks. Now, as you see, this guy was a firefighter and off duty doing rideshare, and it turns out for at least this individual, stating his life flashed before his damn eyes, that he actually probably is safer off just simply being a firefighter than engaging in ride sharing. But number one red flag, 1 a.m. picking up passengers, particularly more than one person at 1 a.m. is a significant increase to having some bad outcomes. I'm just not a fan of driving in the middle of the night at all. What do I say on every broadcast? Nothing good happens after midnight. So if you wanted to reduce a determining factor for having a bad outcome, driving in the wee hours of the morning would be the first thing any rideshare driver should consider eliminating from their schedule. But a lot of folks, this is the only time they can drive. So it's understandable. Some folks choose to drive in the wee hours of the morning, just not I. Now, also in this video, some unusual shit. A man and a woman acting in concert to a carjacking. It's generally males that get involved in this. I have done a few videos where it's been women involved, but usually it's men. Women usually function as the individual that requests a ride. So I would also ask that you be very cautious. In addition to driving after hours, anytime you get a trip where on your device, the requester of the trip is a woman and a man shows up to your vehicle, pay attention to that. As I always talk about defensive tools, that's when you make sure your defensive tool is at the ready, because that's not the person you're picking up. If it's more than one male and the requester is a woman, definitely be on high alert. A lot of these cases happen when it's more than one male in your vehicle. So just my humble opinion, you guys can feel free to correct anything you hear that you may have a different opinion of in the comments. But anytime you have a request to pick up a female and a guy shows up, be on suspicion for that, because a lot of women do set folks up like that. So I do want to point that out. 1 a.m. picking up multiple passengers. Now these motherfuckers got in this car with a dog. Who the hell is outside in the middle of the night with a dog? Just a whole lot of suspicious shit taking place. Furthermore, one reason why I don't deal with pets to begin with, this dog took a shit in his car. Now, I understand Uber and Lyft, by some damn federal law, requires that we allow, what they call them, comfort animals or whatever the hell may be, service animals in our vehicle. But understand, dogs do have to take a shit. And this one did it in the vehicle. And for some strange-ass reason, this driver, when carjacked, was actually outside of his car, according to that news story, helping clean up the mess. What the fuck is that? If someone has an animal that drops waste in your car, that job is 100% theirs to clean up. All you do is supervise. I had an individual in my vehicle yesterday, picked him up from Walmart, bunch of grocery bags. One of their bags, they had purchased a half-gallon of milk and it was leaking. I made him go, he didn't find out it was leaking until he got to the drop-off point. I made him go in his house, get a towel, come out and clean my shit up. Now, don't take all your groceries. Go in the house, get something to come clean this shit up first. If you don't want to come clean it up, then you just left some groceries in the car. What the hell? But having a pet in the vehicle, take a shit? Folks, understand. Even though they require us to have pets in our vehicle, as I stated, service animals, comfort animals, you can refuse without quote unquote refusing. Remember, until someone gets in your vehicle, you can drive off for the most part without any repercussions. My engine light came on. I got a call from my spouse and I suddenly had to come home. Make up whatever excuse you want to fucking use. Just don't state, I didn't want an animal in my car. You don't have to say what you want to do what you want to do. Understand what I'm saying? So if you see somebody standing by the curb with a big ass Great Dane at 1 a.m., that's a trip you don't take. Why does firefighter let these folks get in the car with a dog in the first place it's baffling to me. Maybe some of you folks, my pet lovers out there, do not mind letting somebody get in their car with a pig at 2 a.m. It's just not happening here. I strongly believe you should drive off 1 a.m. I don't get that. 1 a.m. and you outside with a dog. But just to follow through on this video, they did take his phone, wallet, keys, and the whole damn car. Where I'm at in the Midwest, including Chicago, the temperatures at 1 a.m. are life-threatening. If someone were to carjack me right now, considering how I am dressed, I cannot survive outside for more than maybe 10 minutes before it becomes a serious medical emergency in terms of hypothermia and frostbite. It's too cold outside. I don't know. In some cases, you may have to just let that person know, we got to fight it out. I mean, you got a weapon, but leaving me outside while the Titanic sinks, I'm not going to survive anyway. So I understand that. But before we end the video, just in regards to they took his wallet, I would strongly advise if you're carrying cash, talking to mainly my male drivers, but even females, if you got valuables in terms of paper money on you, put that shit in your sock, in your shoes. Women, you got other places you can put it. Don't have it in your wallet. Because if they ask for your wallet, give them a damn wallet. That's where they expect the valuables to be, and the money is in your sock or somewhere. Particularly if you're somewhere like Chicago, you should already know about doing shit like that. But yeah, in this case, you should have had the money in a different location. As always, keeping defensive tools on you. I don't know when you start talking about someone already having a drop on you, pulling out a firearm when somebody's already aiming one at you is a recipe for suicide. But as I stated in this particular case, it's below zero outside at 1 a.m. in Chicago in mid-January. You don't have a lot of time for somebody to open up the door and let you in or something like that, because you can't walk the streets. 122nd in Michigan, if I can recall the area, you're going to be walking a few blocks easy and hope to find at least a gas station. I'm talking about a major city like Chicago. Knocking on doors can actually get you shot at 1 a.m. So what the hell do you do? So just understand that if you're carjacked at the wee hours like that in a very cold area, you are in a serious situation the moment they drive off. The risk of freezing to death is pretty damn high. Nevertheless, you see in the video, the driver ends by saying, his life flashed before his eyes. That's totally understandable. And the newscaster concludes the video by saying the company reached out and offered to help or offered to assist. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. Understand that. That's why I strongly suggest carrying some type of defensive tool on you, even though the ride sharing companies don't want you to carry shit. They're not going to do anything for that dude. Nothing. They will simply ask him, let us know when you get your car back and we'll look into putting you back on as a driver. That's really it. They're not going to send him any money. They're not going to do anything for that guy at all. In fact, they don't even want to fucking hear from him. They really would rather he just fade away until he's ready to drive again. I've covered so many stories on drivers being carjacked, beaten, loss of life, you name it. I've never heard of a single driver that spoke positively of the follow-up from Uber or Lyft after something bad has happened to them. It's all been negative. Anyone that comments on what Uber or Lyft did as a follow-up once they were beaten, carjacked, raped, you name it, it's all been negative. In most cases, we could barely even get somebody to respond. Hell, I did a video of a homicide detective trying to investigate a dead driver, stating that they were not cooperating with him to help bring justice to the family of the deceased. They're not going to do anything for you. Think about that when they tell you not to carry defensive tools. Anyhow, folks, as always, stay safe. Keep your head on the swivel. Do not ignore red flags. 1 a.m., multiple people, wrong passenger getting in the car. It's your boy Tim. Subscribe to the damn channel. See you in the next video.